Hi friends, this is Gautam. In this video tutorial, I am going to discuss about Introduction to Ethernet Part 2. So in last video session, we are discussing about Introduction to Ethernet. So that is a part 1. So now in this video session, we are discussing about part 2. We can see. So first one, duplex. So to understand the duplex, we have to take history lesson. So back in 1990, so we don't have switches. So but we are using only hub. So something called hub in 1990s. So on the hub device, on the outside, it looks like same as a switch, and it has a couple of RJ45 ports that we can use to connect the computer. So this is an up device, so it looks like same like switch. So here we can see 4 ports are there in that hub. So hub, however, it's a dump device. So when it receives an electrical signal on one port, it repeats this signal on all other ports, even when it receives multiple signals at the same time. So what will happen? In a hub, if one port receives an electrical signal, it will repeat that signal to all other port. So same like multiple ports can receive the electrical signal, it will repeat the signal to all other port, means the collision will be occur. So here we can see this could cause collision on the network. As an example to illustrate is, so here, so above we can see that H1 H2 are both sending an Ethernet frame. So the hub repeats this frame on the port that connects on the R3. So R3 means H3 host 3. So when this happen at the same time, we can get an collision and both frames are lost. So we can see, so H1 sends and frame and H2 also sends and frame to the hub. So hub will forward the both frame to H3, so the collision will occurs. So here we can see crash. So to get around this, we have to use off duplex. So to avoid this one, we can use off duplex. So if you are using off duplex means we cannot send and receive at the same time. When one computer is transmitting, rest all computers should listen and should wait. When nobody is transmitting, we can take a shot and transmit a frame. So if you are conferring off duplex means we cannot transmit, we cannot send or receive at the same time. So if one computer is sending the frame means rest of the computer should wait. So once finished sending, then next computer will start sending data. So this does not mean, however, that we are completely free of collisions. So using off duplex, we cannot completely free of collision. So when two computers decide the line is free and start transmitting, so again we'll get an collision. So to solve this issue, we have a protocol called CSMACD. So CS expansion is carrier sense and MA expansion is multi-axis and CD expansion is collision detection. Okay, so carrier sense. Carrier sense means we have to listen onto the cable to hear if anything is found. So if anything is going on. So in other words, if another computer is sending a data at this moment. So carrier sense means all the computers have to listen to the cable to hear if anything is going on. So any other PC is transmitting the data or not. So likewise we have to listen. So that is a carrier sense. And multi-axis means everyone can access our physical medium, but it has to be clear. No other computer should be sending at the moment. So multi-axis have everyone can have access our physical medium, but it has to be clear. No other computer should be sending at the moment. So in case two computers send at the same time, so we have collision. Since we can detect this carrier sense, right? So carrier sense multi-access collision detection will solve this following. So 3 points. First one, the two computer that had the collision. So the two computers had a collision, the line will be start jamming the physical medium. So jamming the physical medium is the physical line will be jamming. So this will ensure nobody will transmit the data at the moment. So the two computers each start a random clock. So when the time of the random clock elapses, they retransmitted. Since the clock is random, so both computers will have different timer. So one of them will send its data before the other. So by jamming the physical medium, we will be certain that no other computers will get chance to send the data before them. So nowadays it's hard to find a hub. So they were all replaced by switches. So nowadays we are not using any hub, we are using by switches only. So when the first switches were announced, the price will be much greater than hub. So the price cost wise also it will be very high. So they were much precious than hub. So switches are intelligent device. They can read the Ethernet frame and forward it only to the device that needs it. So in hub it will be flushed out to the all other ports on the frame, all other ports on the hub. But in switches, what are the device? So it will forward only the device that needs it. So when it has to forward two frames on a port, it can queue the second one, preventing the collision. So there should be an queue in switches. So we can discuss further on upcoming sessions. So switches operates at full duplex, which means everyone can send and receive data at the same time. Because we don't have any collision, so switches does not use any CSMA, carrier sense multi-axis and collision detection protocol anymore. So by default, carrier sense multi-axis collision detection is disabled on switches. So next to one, Ethernet header. So one of the great things about Ethernet is that although we have different standards, they all use common Ethernet frame. So Ethernet standards we discussed already in previous session. So here what they are saying means even though we are using different standards, all of them are using common Ethernet standard frame. So this frame has not changed much since the original Ethernet standards from the 70s. Here's what an Ethernet frame looks like. So this is the Ethernet frame header. So here we can see the green color, the marked in green color are Ethernet header. Let's we can see preamble. So this is a 7-byte pattern. This is a 7-byte pattern of ones and zeros is used for signarization. So next field is a SFD. So start frame delimiter. So marks the end of the preamble and tells the receiver the next field will be the Ethernet. Is will be the actual Ethernet frame starting with the destination field. Here we can see starting with the destination field. Next one, destination. So this is the destination MAC address of the receiver. Next one, source field. So source MAC address of the device that send the frame. So next one, type. This tells us what is carried inside the Ethernet frame. So for an example, IP version 4 packet or IP version 6 or something else. So next one, data. So this carries the actual data that we are trying to transmit. For an example, IP version 4 packet. So last one, FCS, frame check sequence, helps us to the receiver to figure out whether the frame is corrupted or not, correct or corrupted. So the fields I already told you, the fields in the green color, marked in green color, are actual Ethernet header. Okay, so next to one, MAC address. So Ethernet address called MAC address. So expansion of MAC is medium access control address. So each network device has unique MAC address. When we send a Ethernet frame, we add our own MAC address as the source and the receiver MAC address as the destination. So this is the MAC address looks like. So MAC address is a 48-bit address. So first 24 bits is a organization unique identifier and last 24 bits is a vendor assigned. So let me walk you through the different fields. So the MAC address is a 48-bit address or 6 bytes in total. So we write it in hexadecimal. So this is the example for MAC address. So above we have 4 hexadecimal character separated by dot. So each and every is an character, hexadecimal character. So every 4 character we can separate it by dot. So there are two other format options also there. So we can see after 2 hexadecimal character we can put colon or we can put hyphen dash. So all three refer to the same MAC address. So Cisco device often use the first formatting option. So first formatting option is Cisco always use this formatting option, and Windows computers use the dash in between. So Windows computer will use this third format options. So normally MAC address refers a single device on a network. So each and every device have an individual MAC address. So we can call this as unique MAC address. So there is also MAC address for broadcast traffic. So broadcast traffic means, which means that everyone on the network will receive the frame. So multicast traffic means group of receivers will receive that traffic. Okay, next point, MAC address have to be unique, otherwise it possible that Ethernet frame ends up at two receiver. So MAC address should be an unique. If it's duplicate means, so the two receiver will receive the same Ethernet frame. So to make MAC addresses unique, each networking vendor that wants to build network cards has to ask the IEEE for unique 24-bit code called OUI, organizationally unique identifier. So what they are saying means, to make the MAC addresses unique, each and every network vendor ask IEEE. So IEEE is a standard. So they ask for unique ID to build the network cards. So they ask for IEEE for unique ID. So that one called OUI, organizationally unique identifier. So for an example, all the MAC address that starts with 000.0c are owned by Cisco. So the MAC address starting with 0000.0c means, so this MAC address is, so this device is from Cisco. We can easily identify. So remaining 24 bits of the MAC address are then assigned by the vendor. So each network card that they create will have unique MAC address. So that address that the vendor has assigned is also called BIA, burned in address, network interface card. So NIC card itself, it will be inbuilt. So that's why we are saying here BIA. So next to one, type field. So in Ethernet header we can see type field. So the type field in the Ethernet frame tells us what kind of data the frame is carrying. So the two most common options are IP version 4 or IP version 6 packets. When the sender wants to send a IP version 4 packet, it will insert the type in the Ethernet frame and then changes the type field. Okay, so if the sender wants to send an IP version 4 packet means, it will insert the type in the Ethernet frame and then changes the type field. So this information is in hexadecimal and the IEEE has an entire list of options. So in the below video section, in the description section, I pasted the link. Just click that link, you can see what are the type field. The IEEE standard the entire list of options should be there. So these are the common ones. 0800. So if we, in case in Ethernet frame, we can see type 0800 means it will indicates the next one should be an IP version 4 packet. In case 86DD means IP version 6. 8006 means or address resolution protocol. Okay, last one. Error detection. So in Ethernet header, FCS, frame check sequence. So this field is used to check if the Ethernet frame is okay or corrupted. So frames can corrupted because of defective network interface card or electric interference. So because of that, the frame will be possible to corrupt. So the sender has a formula that it used to create a certain value. So this value is added in the FCS, frame check sequence field. So the receiver will then use the same formula to calculate the value. If the value is same, we know the frame is okay. When it's different, we know something has changed during the transmission and the frame is corrupted. So the corrupted frames will be discarded, but there is no error recovery. So this is something that we have to do on higher layers, like for example TCP on the transport layer. Okay friends, so using in layer 2 in Ethernet frame, if the frame is corrupted means we can simply discard it, we can drop that frame. There is no error recovery option, so we have to do it on higher layers like transport layer. So transport layer we already discussed. So if you are not aware about transport layer working principle means, just go through my previous video session. Okay friends, I hope you can understand the duplex and Ethernet header and MAC address, why we are using, and carrier sense multiple access and collision detection. So in case if you have any queries, please ping me in below comment section. I will reply to your queries, and subscribe my channel for further updates. So in next video session, we have to discuss about collision domain and broadcast domain, like that. Okay friends, thank you for watching my video.